Hi everyone, I'm going to show you the Big 7 method for long division. This can be used for any long division problem. It's called the Big 7 because when we draw our bracket, it's going to look like a Big 7. We're going to start with 92 divided by 4. So the basic setup is pretty much the same as we would normally see it, except for with this method, I'm going to bring down a line along the side here, and now you can see why it's called the Big 7, because this bracket looks like a Big 7. Some people even call this method the fishhook method because it kind of looks like a big fish hook too. So normally what we would do is we would say, how many times can 4 go into 9? And then how many times can 4 go into, and just keep breaking it down from there, and it can get really confusing. So I want you to think about it this way. We are trying to see how many 4s we can take out of 92. Now, I could subtract 4 a bunch of times and then count up the number of 4s that I subtracted and get my answer that way, but that would take a really long time to do. So I'm going to take out groups of 4. So what I like to teach my students to do is to pick an easy number of groups of 4 to take out, like 10, because multiples of 10 are pretty easy to work with. If I take out 10 groups of 4, then I'm actually just taking out 40 out of 92. Now, I wrote the number of 10 over here on the right side because this area over here is just where I'm going to be keeping track of how many 4s I'm taking out of 92. And then this area over here under the bracket is where I'm actually going to subtract them. So I have 92 minus 40. That leaves me with 52. I can obviously still take out many more 4s out of this 52. So again, I'm going to take out. So I've got 52 minus 40. And that's going to leave me with 12. Now, obviously, I can't take out another 10 groups of 4 from 12 because this is not big enough to take away 40 from. So this is where knowing my multiples really comes in handy. So if I know my multiples of 4, I know that 3 groups of 4 equals 12. So that's going to come out exactly evenly. And I'm left with nothing down here at the bottom. And that means there is no remainder. So remember, this over here on the right side is where I'm keeping track of how many 4s I took out of 92. I am now going to add all those up, and my answer is 23. And you can then write that up there on the top where we traditionally would write our answer. The Big 7 method also works for division problems that have a remainder. For example, 62 divided by 5 will have a remainder. 62 is not evenly divisible by 5. So again, I'm going to draw my line down the side, make my Big 7, and I'm going to use the same method I used before. I'm going to take out 10 groups of 5 because I know that's going to be an easy number to take out of 62. And I'm left with 12 when I subtract. Now, I can't take out another 10 groups of 5, so this is where I use my multiples. I know that 2 groups of 5 is as close as I'm going to get, and then I have 2 left over. Since this number, the 2, is smaller than my 5, I cannot take out any more 5s from this number. Now, I add up how many groups of 5 I took out of 62, and I'm left with 12 with a remainder of 2. And I write that up at the top of my bracket where the answer traditionally goes. And that's how you do the Big 7 method for division.